the crossroads of America, smack dab at the intersection of the new innovation economy. The second annual Rally Conference in Indianapolis, what it means for entrepreneurs and executives from around the globe, and the potential payoff for Indiana businesses. Plus,
sparks fly as the body begins to take shape in the Body Weld Shop.
Driving possibilities. Toyota and the University of Evansville teaming up to educate and train the future automotive workforce. And
International Harvester makes a complete line of trucks, the best that men, money, and more than a century of manufacturing experience can build.
The first installment of our Endangered Indiana series. We explore what's next for International Harvester in Fort Wayne. Inside Indiana Business is next on this Labor Day weekend.
From Indiana's business news leader, this is IBJ Media's Inside Indiana Business with Gary Dick, presented by Elevate Ventures, Indiana University, and LIUNA.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from the Indiana Convention Center in downtown Indianapolis and the Rally Innovation Conference. Thousands of innovators, entrepreneurs, investors, executives converging on downtown Indy for the second Rally Conference. The event providing a snapshot of sorts of Indiana's emerging profile in the innovation economy. A wide range of industry sectors represented here: technology and software development, ag bioscience, motorsports and sports tech, artificial intelligence, and a lot more. The goal is to showcase cutting-edge technologies and trends and create cross-sector connections to drive new innovation and investment opportunities, and also, in a sense, to position Indiana as a hub for innovation, an innovation capital, if you will. The brains and passion behind Rally, Elevate Ventures CEO Christopher Day, tells me this year's event is about more than just so-called creative collisions.
This year our theme is creative convergence, and so now it's all about how do we intentionally connect cross-sector companies with each other, and then also disparate stakeholders. So not only the investors, not only the entrepreneurs, but our policymakers, our philanthropic leaders, our education leaders. When all those people come together and start sharing ideas and collaborating openly and with vulnerability, we like to say, then great things happen.
When you talk about overarching themes here, certainly artificial intelligence is a big topic. A lot of disruption around AI. What are you hearing from people here, and why is that such a hot button issue?
One of the themes this morning was there is still a decent contingency of companies, and some of them quite large, $100, $500 million plus companies that are kind of not embracing AI, and they think it's purely about displacement of their people, and it's not. It's about what's the experience for your customer. And so one of the themes this morning with our opening keynote with Tia White was, one thing is for sure, if you don't embrace AI, it will displace you. And so that's what we're trying to get people comfortable with is embracing AI doesn't mean you're just automatically going to lose 30% or 50% of your workforce. It means up-leveling and helping your people become more efficient. And happy teams equal happy customers.
When you talk about teams and talent and that talent attraction piece, that is another obviously big topic.
Yes, that's what it all comes down to, right? It's like really, I think talent is more important than capital. And so if we create environments where people can flourish and always self-learn and grow and disrupt themselves, disrupt the company, better serve the customers, great talent flocks to those types of environments. And so I think it's not only about making sure you serve your customers and keeping ahead of the competition, but then also attracting the talent you need to go execute that strategy.
Is this event, Rally, second year, an opportunity to showcase, among other things, showcase Indiana as an innovation hub? I know you're big on that. You think Indiana has the potential to really shine on a global stage. Does this event help do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I really do believe, I don't just say it, it's not just a moniker or a rally cry, but I really believe with every fiber of my body that Indiana already is the innovation capital of the world. The world just doesn't know it yet. And when you look at things like our infrastructure and our talent, mission critical industry, lifestyle, cost of living, regulatory environment, our number one rankings, right? Lilly is going to be $1 trillion valued company here very soon if they're not already. But we look at Lilly, the highest valued pharma company. We look at the largest pure play ag company, number 2 animal health company, number 2 healthcare system, or the orthopedics capital of the world, RV manufacturing capital of the world. The list just goes on. And I truly believe that when we embrace each other cross-sector, we can advance each other's companies and technologies and innovation faster than anybody on the planet. I think that there's a massive pent-up demand for growth capital in the state. I think that also is going to help us attract and retain more talent with the split of Purdue and IU and having two R1 universities in our state capital, right? We also have Notre Dame, as our research, an R1 university. We have talent from the likes of Rose-Hulman, right, from Marion, from Indiana Wesleyan. And the entrepreneurship programming that I see that these universities are doing, come up with new majors for semiconductors. These are all the things that are very intentional activities that companies, institutions, universities are all starting to realize we're going to make some mistakes too, right, Gary? But we just have to be all in on innovation, disrupting ourselves. We'll make a few mistakes along the way, but we'll come out in a great place on the other end.
Well, certainly public policy plays a big role in the innovation economy, from regulation to funding and investment that helps create jobs. Case in point, South Korean chipmaker SK Hynix recently received confirmation of up to $450 million of federal CHIPS Act funding to build a $4 billion semiconductor packaging facility at the Purdue Research Park in West Lafayette. One of the key players in making that legislation reality, Indiana Senator Todd Young, was very visible here at the rally conference, and he tells me Indiana is positioned for explosive growth as an innovation center.
And I think one of the overlooked value propositions of that project right there. Not only does it double the assessed value of West Lafayette, Indiana, but it also advertises to the world, listen, pay attention to the state of Indiana. We're already making highly sophisticated things. The most challenging things to manufacture in the world are manufactured here. So as other semiconductor manufacturers and manufacturers of other sophisticated systems look for places to locate, they're going to be looking at Hoosiers.
Well, a big key to filling those science and high-tech jobs, education and training. Coming up next, see how Toyota in Indiana is partnering with the University of Evansville to prepare students for careers in STEM.
Time now for our Eye on Education, brought to you by PNC Bank.
Welcome back to the Indiana Convention Center and the second Rally Innovation Conference. Our Eye on Education segment this week takes us to Southwest Indiana, where the University of Evansville is partnering with Toyota on a major initiative. UE named a coordinating partner for the automaker's Driving Possibilities Initiative, which aims to prepare students for STEM careers. The university received a $2 million grant to help make it happen. Part of it will fund a new lab space where teachers can gather and talk about ways to teach STEM topics in a better way. It will also serve as a hub for training teachers on robotics, coding, and other topics.
The ability to be able to collaborate together, I think, is the really big plus. It's pretty neat to be able to do something yourself. It's even better when you get to collaborate with a whole bunch of people because the benefits magnify themselves.
The initiative is benefiting students in the North Gibson School Corporation as well as the Evansville Vanderburg School Corporation.
Here's what's making news around Indiana, brought to you by the Indiana Association of Realtors. Indiana's 21,000 realtors, the neighbors you know, the experts you can count on.
We're reinforcing our commitment to provide Indiana business news from every corner of the state each week. This week we begin with Lilly Endowment, gifting the National Park Service with its largest gift ever.
The endowment donating $100 million to the National Park Service. Some of that money could go to help restore reefs at Biscayne National Park in South Florida, one of 400 national parks across the country. The Lilly grant, the largest ever benefiting U.S. national parks. Biotech company Inari Agriculture is celebrating the completion of its $20 million West Lafayette expansion project. West Lafayette, home to Inari's product development and commercial operations. The company says its new facility will accelerate development and commercialization of higher yield seeds for plants including corn and wheat. Southwest Indiana has big plans for its first project funded by a Ready 2.0 grant. The Dominion will bring 150 market-rate apartments, an outdoor public plaza, and retail and restaurant space to Warwick County. The Dominion is a nearly $72 million project. Architectural and engineering work will begin in the fall. construction not expected to start until the fall of 2025. Indiana is receiving national recognition from BetMGM as one of the best states for casino tourism. The Hoosier State ranks 12th out of 43 states that have casinos. The ranking's based on factors like the number of casinos, along with the cost of airfare into the state.
Well, it's time now to get caught up on the business of health, and for that, we send it back to the studio.
Thanks, Gary. Well, we've got a lot of health news to catch up on, so let's get right to it here with Business of Health reporter Kylie Valletta. Kylie.
Thank you, Mary Rachel. Starting off with a look this week at a big move Eli Lilly is making to expand supply of its popular weight loss drug, Zepbound. Lilly is now selling Zepbound for about half of its usual monthly price. Patients with an on-label prescription can buy single-dose vials directly from Lilly, which the company says will expand access and supply. 2.5 and 5 milligram vials are available for self-pay. And big news for Carmel-based MBX Biosciences. The 5-year-old company has filed paperwork to go public. The clinical stage drug maker has already raised more than $213 million to develop treatments for rare endocrine disorders. Dr. Richard DeMarchi is the startup's scientific co-founder. The IU professor is a serial entrepreneur and world-renowned chemist. The company's CEO declined to comment on the filing, citing regulatory guidelines. The Alzheimer's Association is giving an IU Indianapolis researcher $200,000 to advance the use of virtual reality to help individuals with Alzheimer's. Hee-Tae Young says there's a large gap between the needs of people with dementia and the products that are currently available. Jung is working directly with dementia care organizations in Indiana and around the country on the project.
Getting back to Lilly,
yes,
this price drop is a huge step forward.
Yes, since day one, supply and cost have been the two issues we hear a lot about. Now, someone who does not have insurance coverage can go directly to Lilly with a prescription to purchase it. The lower level dose, about $400 per month now, which is much lower than usual.
And one of the co-founders of MBX is a huge name here in Indiana.
Yes, he is a legend in Indiana, Dr. Richard DeMarchi. He has founded 8 companies, many of which have already exited, including one that Roche bought for $300 million. So suffice it to say that MBX is in solid hands and was going to probably do very well with this public offering.
Wow, great stuff. Thank you, Kylie. Hoosier history at a crossroads, the fight to save and preserve Indiana's past. Learn what historic buildings like International Harvester and Fort Wayne mean to the community and what's being done to save them. Labor Day weekend in the small town of Lowell, Indiana in Lake County. Billed as the longest running Labor Day parade in the state, recognizing some of Indiana's 3.3 million union workers. They're treasured gems in communities across Indiana. Old buildings like this one in Wabash, the former home of a scrap recycling company, or historic fraternal lodges like the Prince Hall Masonic Temple in Indianapolis, all on the verge of disappearing. Indiana Landmarks out with its 10 most endangered, a list of historic places around the state on the brink of extinction. One of them a repeat from last year's list, International Harvester in Fort Wayne. For 60 years, it produced everything from World War II torpedoes to what many credit as the first modern SUV. I had a chance to visit the International Harvester Engineering Building earlier this year and got a feel for just how important the once legendary company still is to the people of Allen County.
International Harvester makes a complete line of trucks, the best that men, money, and more than a century of manufacturing experience can build. The factory at Fort Wayne, where heavy-duty models are manufactured, occupies 125 acres.
The Hoover Dam was built with International trucks. They built a truck here to haul a giant platform for one of the first rocket launches at Cape Canaveral they took out of here. They built anything needed to be built to do the biggest things in the world.
The Summit City's 20th century behemoth.
It's not enough to have an engineering setup second to none in the industry.
For 60 years, International Harvester reigned supreme in Fort Wayne. For decades, it was the city's largest employer. During World War II, the Fort Wayne truck titan was considered so critical to the U.S. war effort, Adolf Hitler himself had the plant circled as a major bombing target.
In World War II, we were not too popular with Hitler because of the trucks that were being built here.
The triple diamond emblem on every international truck is a mark of distinction.
It really was the heavy-duty truck capital of the world. From 1923 until 1983, International Harvester manufactured more than 1.5 million heavy-duty trucks.
International Harvester became the #1 truck manufacturer in the nation. We had at least 75 or 80% of the market. This is what really made Harvester become, Fort Wayne especially, the heavy truck capital of the world.
But like many industrial giants of its time, Harvester faced its share of challenges. Economic downturn eventually took its toll on the company, and the plant ceased operations in the 1980s, marking the end of an era for International Harvester in Fort Wayne.
I'm most proud of the years that I spent, the relationships, the family, the friends that you made. You actually spent 8 hours out of every day here, sometimes 10 because you'd be working overtime. And you really spent more time here than you did with your own family. I think that history is what means most to me.
Truly an amazing building with incredible history. Would love to see that saved. Well, preserving Black heritage and culture, also a big part of Indiana Landmark's mission. Places like this in South Bend. The former Westside Recreation Club, a social hub for African Americans during and after segregation, now a priority to save and redevelop.
All right, Mary Rachel, thank you. Well, despite the challenge involved there in trying to save that historic building in South Bend, there is real momentum going on there in a city that for years was a driving force in innovation around four-wheel vehicles.
By 1890, the Studebaker Brothers Manufacturing Company was the world's largest maker of horse-drawn equipment, with a sales network spanning 6 continents.
The new South Bend has come a long way since then. Millions of dollars going toward revitalizing its downtown, modernizing and adding flights to its international airport, strengthening its partnership with Notre Dame, and supporting billions of dollars in innovation about 15 miles to the west in New Carlisle, an emerging epicenter for high-tech growth. Amazon building an $11 billion data center there, as well as GM's new $3 billion joint venture EV plant. South Bend Mayor James Mueller grew up in South Bend and reflects on the then versus now vibe in the city.
There was kind of this cloud over us after Studebaker closed. That kind of hung over us for a long time, and there was kind of a sense of pessimism. And so part of it is selling our community, selling the good things. There have always been good things in South Bend. When people come and visit, they can see that this is a community on the rise.
You can check out my entire conversation with South Bend Mayor James Mueller on the Business and Beyond podcast. Check it out at InsideIndianaBusiness.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Well, when we come back, a look at the power and impact of the Rally Conference, how it's inspiring innovators from beyond Indiana's border. Welcome back to the Indiana Convention Center and the second Rally Innovation Conference. You know, organizers say attendance here is up about 25% over last year. Attendees coming from throughout the state, the country, and around the globe.
For example, Web AI is an Austin, Texas-based startup focused on streamlining training, deployment, and execution of artificial intelligence across all device platforms, essentially making AI more user-friendly for companies, organizations, and individuals. Founder David Stout is a Midwest native who tells me he understands the fears AI is creating and the need to address those head-on.
I think with innovation, there's always a reality that jobs look different. That's not something that we can change, and I don't think it's something we would want to change. I think we know when we create something, there's a high likelihood that jobs look different. How do we make sure we're building AI that supports humans as a tool versus a replacement for humans? And part of part of that story is enabling humans to create AI and own AI. There was a point where only engineers were on computers. And today, I would imagine almost everyone is using a computer, and you probably used one today in your pocket. AI needs to have that step function change, where these complex, esoteric fields become simplified. Not because they're simple, but because we need more people engaging with it for its guaranteed success.
Stout believes AI is not a tool, but rather a movement, and key to its success is access, allowing everyone, no matter their technical capability, the ability to craft their own AI models.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's edition of Inside Indiana Business, coming to you from the second Rally Innovation Conference. We leave you this Labor Day weekend with a look at celebrations around the state honoring the men and women who make Indiana go, the Indiana workforce. I'm Gary Dick. Thanks for joining us. Go out and make it a successful week.
Thank you.